Leonard landed on 37 of 38, including 34 votes inside the top 5, and he also received 11 first-place votes. And finally, at number 1, Marvin Hagler. Hagler was an American boxer known simply as Marvelous. Hagler was a switch-hitting right-handed southpaw with a heavy-handed jab, beautiful all-around boxing ability, a mean right hand, and a chin made of absolute iron. Hagler won the Undisputed World Middleweight Championship in 1980, and he became 3-belt undisputed when he also won the inaugural IBF title. Hagler made a dozen defenses of his middleweight crown, and he is widely viewed as one of the very best during the long, rich history of middleweight boxing. Hagler landed on a perfect 38, including 37 votes inside the top 5 and 15 the first-place votes. Here is the final top 10 list from the 1980s. Just missing the cut at number 11 was Evander Holyfield, who finished 102 points behind Pryor, which was tight. Then after that, more than 500 points below Evander, we had Azuma Nelson at 12, Wilfredo Gomez at 13, Mike McCallum at 14, and rounding out the top 15 was Dwight Muhammad Qawi. It was the first time in the survey that everyone in the top 10 had more than 1,500 points. And that can be explained by the fact that the 1980s had more participants than any previous decade with 38 volunteers. On that same note, Hagler became the first boxer to exceed 4,000 points in the survey due to the record high in participation here. One thing that jumped out to me in this one is that a lot of the early pioneers who helped provide the IBF with credibility are featured here. Of course, the Easton Assassin alone brought instant credibility to the new Alphabet organization when they awarded him their inaugural title. Then you have the 2-belt undisputed champions who became 3-belt undisputed champions. Hagler did it at middleweight, and Spinks did it at light heavyweight, and those 3 boxers helped it obtain immediate acceptance as a legit Alphabet belt, unlike the WBO belt, where it took more than 15 years to gain the same type of recognition. The main thing that jumped out at me here was the fact that Marvelous Marvin beat out Sugar Ray for the top spot. The results here reminded me of the 1950s, where I was fully expecting Sugar Ray Robinson to land the top spot. But that didn't happen. Instead, in the tightest 3-way race in the entire series to date, the top 3 spots were separated by less than 100 points, with Rocky Marciano landing 3rd, Robinson at 2nd, and Archie Moore just barely edging them, both out. I was expecting Robinson to win there, much like I was expecting Leonard to win here. As surprising as these results were, in both instances, it left me smiling ear to ear like an absolute dork. As many who have followed the channel probably already know, Hagler was my first boxing hero as a child, and the old mongoose is one of my favorites, my absolute favorite whose career concluded before I was born. Full disclosure. I do not personally participate in these surveys, and even if I did, I'm not entirely sure I would have had Archie over Robinson, nor am I entirely sure I would have had Hagler over Leonard here. Of course, Leonard officially beat Hagler when they fought. But that doesn't always necessarily mean that the winning fighter should automatically be ranked ahead in terms of overall career. Pep and Sadler jump to mind. It's also interesting to note that someone inexplicably left Ray off their top 10 in the 80s. And this is not meant to shame the individual who excluded Ray. Even though I thought it was a real head-scratcher, I didn't think there was anything egregious going on, and I have great faith in the overall scoring system. Even if that omission had Ray in first place, it still wouldn't have been enough to overcome the gap. And Hagler still finished, with the most first-place votes and the most votes inside the top 5. I do believe Hagler still has a mighty strong case for the top spot in his own right. I know that a lot of fans, amazingly, are very critical of Marvin for only competing at one weight class, where they tend to reward weight jumping, and for some reason these types of fans often frown upon dominance within a single weight class. I never agreed with that logic myself, and that type of thinking clearly wasn't being wide-scale applied here in this survey. Even though I think you could make a solid case for Marvin here in the 80s, just like one could with Archie in the 50s. I was still expecting that the 2 Sugar Rays would land on top in the respective decades. That didn't happen, which does make me wonder if beloved figures like Hagler and Archie don't have the type of widespread universal appeal that would allow them to score the upsets in these decades. Hagler became the 15th instance of a boxer averaging over 100 points per volunteer in any given decade, which marked him as the 12th boxer to hit that mark, because 3 legends did so twice, and those were Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, and Muhammad Ali. So that puts Hagler in exclusive company as one of a dozen boxers to do so, and poor Ray Leonard missed the mark by a measly 10 points. This is where the lone, peculiar omission of Ray had an impact on something I've been casually tracking, even if it ultimately had no impact on the final results. Once again, here is the final top 10 list from the 1980s edition of the survey. A very special thanks to all 38 volunteers who contributed to the 1980s edition of this boxing survey experiment. What do you think of the results here? Please share your thoughts in the comment section, and I hope you continue along on the journey here when the 1990s results drop and beyond as we continue traveling toward the present. Please stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful night. This is Glory Boxing. Good evening, boxing fans, and welcome to part 10 of 13 in the latest survey series, the 1980s. Here is the scoring, where 38 volunteers provided me with a chronological list of between 10 and 25 names whom they believe represent the greatest P4P boxers who competed in the 1980s. Let's rock! 10. Aaron Pryor. Pryor was an American boxer known as the Hawk. Pryor was an aggressive boxer capable of applying relentless pressure where he could put together some really nice quick combinations. Pryor won the WBA junior welterweight title in 1980, and he defended that belt 8 times before a short-lived retirement, and the following year he won the inaugural IBF title at 140, which he defended once. The Hawk landed on 31 of 38, including 2 votes inside the top 5. Number 9. Salvador Sanchez was a Mexican boxer known as Chava. Sanchez had tremendous all-around boxing ability, with great balance, timing, and fluidity to go along with his exceptional boxing IQ that was predicated on his stellar understanding of range. Sanchez won the WBC featherweight title in 1980, and he defended that championship 9 times until his untimely death in 1982. Sanchez landed on 26 of 38, which was 5 less mentions than Pryor received, but those 7 votes inside the top 5 gave Sanchez the edge here in the scoring. 8. Roberto Duran. Duran was a Panamanian boxer known as Manos de Piedra, hands of stone. Duran was an outstanding march-forward pressure boxer with terrific countering skills and a slippery defense. Duran is the 15th boxer to appear inside the top 10 in multiple decades, where he finished second in the 1970s. After his long, dominant reign at lightweight in the 1970s, in the 80s, Duran won titles at welterweight, junior middleweight, and middleweight. Duran landed on 31 out of 38, which included 5 votes inside the top 5. Number 7. Larry Holmes was an American boxer, also known as the Easton Assassin. Holmes is known for having what was arguably the greatest heavyweight jab of all time, and to go along with that, he had incredible speed, skills, and determination. Holmes won the WBC Heavyweight Championship in 1978, and he later became the inaugural IBF Heavyweight Champion. In total, Holmes made 20 consecutive title defenses, the second best in history behind the great Joe Louis. Holmes landed on 35 of 38, including 13 votes inside the top 5, and he also got 1 first-place vote. Number 6. Julio Cesar Chavez was a Mexican boxer who utilized a pressure style which included great infighting ability, a granite chin. He threw terrific combinations, was a dangerous body puncher, and he possessed a tremendous left hook. Chavez won the WBC junior lightweight title in 1984, and he defended that title 9 times. He won both the WBA and WBC lightweight title in 1988, and in 1989 he won the WBC junior welterweight title. Chavez would continue boxing at the championship level well into the 1990s. Chavez landed on 37 of 38, which included 13 votes inside the top 5 and 4 first-place votes. Number 5, Michael Spinks was an American boxer known as the Jinx. Spinks had an awkward style that was unique and unpredictable, but it was all predicated on a terrific foundation of skills and smarts. Spinks won the WBA light heavyweight title in 1981, and he would go on add the WBC to become undisputed, and he later added the inaugural IBF belt to become 3-belt undisputed. In total, Spinks made 10 defenses of the light heavyweight crown. Spinks moved up to heavyweight and won the IBF title in 1985, which marked Spinks as the first ever light heavyweight champion to move up and win the heavyweight championship. Spinks landed on a perfect 38, which included 22 votes inside the top 5. Number 4, Mike Tyson was an American boxer known as Iron Mike. Tyson was an explosive powerhouse who possessed an incredible blend of tremendous speed and power. Tyson won the WBC heavyweight title in 1986, and one by one, he added the WBA and IBF, ultimately securing his status as the undisputed king of the division. Throughout the late 80s, in total, Tyson made 9 consecutive defenses of his championship. Iron Mike appeared on 35 of 38, which included 22 votes inside the top 5 and 5 to first-place votes. Number 3. Thomas Hearns was an American boxer, known as both the Motor City Cobra and also the Hitman. Hearns was a multi-dimensional boxer with an outstanding jab and a menacing right hand, and he had excellent all-around boxing ability. In the 1980s, Hearns won major world championships at welterweight, junior middleweight, and light heavyweight, and he also was WBO champion at 168. The Hitman landed on 37 of 38, he received 28 votes inside the top 5, and he also received 2 first-place votes. Number 2, Ray Leonard was an American boxer known as Sugar Ray. Leonard was an extremely versatile boxer who possessed lightning-fast hand speed, superb reflexes, exceptional footwork, and unwavering determination. During the 1980s, Leonard won championships in 5 different divisions, where he won undisputed at welterweight and also won titles at junior middleweight, super middleweight, and also light heavyweight.